In India, there is a general sense that there is a lot of corruption. Every one of us might have paid a small bribe to get some documents processed faster or to escape a traffic fine. This is corruption at its most visible, the kind we can see, touch, and unfortunately pay for. But what about the larger, more organized forms of corruption that operate beyond our view? The 2024 Indian general election was the most expensive electoral exercise globally, with total expenditures estimated to reach approximately $1.64 billion. Political parties somehow managed these astronomical campaign expenses despite strict official spending limits. The scale of election spending is staggering. Many candidates even distributed cash directly to families in exchange for votes. So the question isn't whether political parties are accessing funds through illegal channels, but rather how to prove and quantify these hidden financial flows. A groundbreaking study may have found the answer by examining an unexpected indicator: cement sales. The construction sector in India occupies a unique position to facilitate election financing through under-the-table contributions. It's one of the most heavily regulated industries, particularly regarding land use. Every aspect of construction requires extensive governmental permissions: building permits, land use approvals, environmental clearances. Success in the industry depends heavily on political connections and administrative cooperation. This dependency creates what researchers term a builder-politician nexus, a symbiotic relationship where builders rely on political favors for efficient operations, while politicians depend on builders that undocumented funds to finance expensive campaigns. The researchers discovered that cement sales consistently drop by 12 to 15% during state election months. But establishing this pattern required rigorous methodology to prove it wasn't merely coincidental. Their analysis drew from monthly cement consumption data across 17 major Indian states over a 15-year period from 1995 to 2010, sourced from the Cement Manufacturers Association. These states account for over 90% of India's cement consumption, providing a comprehensive data set. The analysis had to account for multiple variables. Construction naturally fluctuates with seasonal patterns, slowing during monsoons and accelerating in dry months. Different states have varying construction rates, and overall building activity changes year to year. Even after accounting for all these other factors, the drop in cement sales during election months stood out clearly. Another possible explanation that was investigated was whether general economic uncertainty during elections caused construction slowdowns by examining other economic indicators and private sector project announcements. No comparable drops were found. They even checked if cement production itself decreased. The data showed no significant changes during election months. When examining unscheduled versus scheduled elections, they found larger consumption drops during scheduled elections. Exactly what you'd expect if builders were planning to divert funds to campaign financing. The pattern emerged unambiguously. Cement consumption decreases as elections approach, independent of weather, economic conditions, or production factors. The evidence strongly suggests construction companies redirect funds from building materials to campaign contributions. This has been one of the first times anyone has been able to quantify something that everyone suspected but could not prove: the massive scale of unofficial election financing in developing democracies. By following the cement, researchers finally found a way to measure the unmeasurable. The implications are worrying. If builders need to cut their core business activity by 12 to 15% just to meet election financing demands, imagine the scale of the total election spending. And more importantly, imagine what those builders expect in return for their contributions.